friends. Thank you for joining me today as we review Tier 1 metrics tracking charts. The chart that I will be showing you how to use today is available for free download at johnthackerjr.com. I'll put the link below in the description of the video. Please feel free to download this chart and use it to help your business be more successful. So, let's get started. This is a Tier 1 metrics chart. Before we dive in, Tier 1 is the level of the organization where value is created. So if you work in a factory, that might be an assembly line. If you work in a warehouse, that might be the people who unload trucks or pick orders or load trucks, etc., etc. Using the terms Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 allow companies to use generic terms to refer to the level of their business, instead of having to resort to clunky and sometimes changing job titles, such as supervisor, team lead, or job foreman. The metrics that we track at Tier 1 allow the team to track their performance over time and to know what areas they need to work on. This particular chart is for a Tier 1 team operating in a production environment. Let's review some elements of the chart. Up in the header, we have delivery. This is the silo, or area, that is being tracked with a metric. The traditional silos for metrics tracking include safety, quality, delivery, and cost. In this chart, we're tracking load ready time completion percent, or LRTC, a common delivery metric for warehouse operations. This metric falls under the delivery category. So in the center of your header on your downloaded chart, put the silo that the metric corresponds to. On the right, insert your site name or perhaps the entity name. So this could be Acme Corp or Warehouse number 101, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Over on the left of the header, there's a space to put the month and year. This not only helps your team ensure they're looking at an up-to-date chart, but will help you in the future as you review old charts you've saved to see how you've improved your performance over time. Down here in the middle, we have the metric that we are tracking, in this case LRTC. The font is in a color that's light enough that when you print this chart out, you can still draw your chart over the top of it without interrupting the view of the chart. Over here we have what we are measuring, which is daily LRTC percent. And down below, we talk about how we are measuring it. The shift supervisor will enter the LRTC for the prior day once the database is updated, generally around 9 a.m., use the dot and line method. So these instructions define who is responsible, what they are responsible for recording, and about what time the chart should be updated. This just makes all the expectations clear for the team that is using this chart. Down here, we have an upward pointing green arrow. This is a visual indicator that upwards is better for this dot and line chart. The higher the dot on the graph, the better the team is performing. Up at the top, we have the days of the month, 1 through 31, and we have the same thing down at the bottom. This identifies which cell you'll put your data in, and right below these days of the month, we have the data cell for entering the actual value for the day. I've gone ahead and filled out the first 5 days of the month with the LRTC percentages to demonstrate how this type of chart is used. Up at the top, we put a dot in the value cell corresponding with the percentage for that day. So on day 1, we had 100%, and we put a dot in the 100 box. Same thing on day 2. And on day 3, performance dipped, and we put a dot in the 82% box. These dots are connected with a line. This shows us how we are performing over time as a team. Now it's important to notice this green line right in the middle here. That is the performance line. That's the target the team should be hitting. As long as they're above that line, then they're meeting expectations. If they're below that line, then action needs to be taken. We will review that in our next video in this series. For now, it's enough to note that you should have a performance line. This can be calculated using statistical process control or can be selected randomly by management based on past performance. You want the team to be above the line most of the time. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to improve performance because you'll be focused on too many problems. So there you have it. The daily data number is entered at the bottom, the dots and lines are entered at the top, and performance is tracked over time. Now I've gone ahead and filled this out digitally, but in real life, how do you actually implement this? Well, first of all, you need to print the chart out on paper and post it for everyone to see. And where I have entered numbers in the computer, you'll want to enter by hand. The chart is designed to be filled out by hand with a ballpoint pen. And then you'll want to review the chart daily to see how the team is performing. And that's it, folks. This is a Tier 1 metrics chart. It is available for free download. Please avail yourself of that. Thanks for joining.